Peace, 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 y'all. This is Empress Coach Rena Nicole, and this is our AM Inspiration Show to wake that ass up. It is Sunday, October the 9th, 2022. Yes, baby, 2022. Okay. So we are on the heels of a Hoodoo Heritage Month for everybody to celebrate. What up, though? Now, with that being said, we are streaming live from YouTube, Facebook, Clubhouse, Twitter, StreamYard, and Spoon app. So I just want to give a shout out to everyone on all those apps. And also, we're streaming live from Clubhouse. So what up, though, to everybody that's on Clubhouse? If you're on Clubhouse, make sure you are hitting that greenhouse at the top of the room. And also, if you want to join us live via StreamYard, hit that link that's posted at the top. Also, to our people on Spoon, hit that phone icon if you want to come up and share your experiences on the topic today. Today, the topic is... Dun, dun, dun. How are you showing up in your daily existence? Now, let's run this back for a few more seconds. Let's run this back for a few seconds. And then you can enjoy some background music. You know what? Let's just hop into it. Because we already running late. And I'm having some technical difficulty all across the board today. So, with that being said, yes, let's get into it. Let's go. Whew. So, when you think about like how am I showing up, I know that's something else that you're probably hearing all the time about showing up and different things of that nature. And it's almost like, okay, this is another thing where you can go to Bed Bath & Beyond and just buy it, like dun dun dun, and it'll be on the shelf, like how to show up in life. Well, in order for you not to take it that way, let's think of it in another way, okay? So, with that being said, without further ado, let's hop right into the topic, okay? So, there are so many things in this existence that you can do, that you can create to allow yourself to reevaluate, to resolve, to uplift, and to sustain, right? So these are some of the things that you want to think of when someone asks you the question, or when you asking yourself the question, how am I showing up, right? Because at the end of the day, it really don't matter if someone else is asking you the question, or just saying how are you showing up to you. It really does not matter, because if you don't know how you're showing up, that's the biggest problem of all. Okay, so a lot of things that you're due, a lot of woo, a lot of things that you're going to do in life will make a humongous difference and allow you to be fully present for what matters to you, right? So if you don't have them as a priority, then they're not important. And you have to remember that although some people feel like life is a competition or is a rat race or whatever they feel like that way, in hindsight, everybody has a divine path in divine order, right? So it's okay to go through life and experience life, okay? So I'm just going to say that. But you always have to use your discernment, be kind to yourself, and remember you're not doing it because you're a simple being. You're so complex, you're so wonderful, you're so beautiful, you're so creative. And sometimes it's as simple as just tapping into your own self to expand upon these things, to release them, to discover. And it's not the easiest journey, but it's the most rewarding one. That makes any sense to you, okay? Period. Dun, dun, dun. Now, when you are operating in the present and you are living this existence, okay, you get to witness, and you have a whole desire in your being to show up, right? But you show up with a whole heart. You're having empathy, you're using discernment, you're giving, you're nurturing, you're receiving as well. And you're accepting, because there's a lot of things in life that we do not like. Point blank, period. I need a moment. Oh. Woo! Moment is over, okay? Already, I needed a moment. Now, there's many things in this existence, right, that we're not going to like. There's many things that happen in this existence that we're not going to like, like grief. And I can go down a whole list of things that we won't like in the human experience, okay? And those people, those of us in society that decide that, hey, I'm going to show up anyway, but I'm still going to show up as me. It's not to say that you are throwing away anything that's happened to you, but you are in a place of addressing it, gaining knowledge to heal yourself from it, actually growing through it and persevering through it, which makes you resilient and gives you a whole different level, a whole entire different level of power. Period. I'm trying to tell you, they're not listening to me today. Okay, listen. So let's talk about some ways that you can show up for yourself. Okay. So the one thing I know I bring it up already, and they're like, oh my God, Nicole, can you please stop bringing this up over and over? Down. The number one thing for me is to create, create a space for grace, right? So I feel like a lot of the times we have all these things that are important to us, right? But at the end of the day, is it really important to us? So how to start showing up for yourself a little bit more is to create more space, whether it's in your existence, whether it's physically, whether it's spiritually, whether it's financially, whether it's emotionally and metaphysically. We're going to go down the list anyway, how to do these things. So creating space mentally is literally decluttering your mind, reframing your thoughts. So if you have thoughts that are unhealthy for you and you're like, oh, well, I'm trigger warning, I'm stupid because I didn't do it right. That's something you need to clear your mind of. You need to reframe that and say, you know what? I didn't do it right, but I'm going to try again until I get it right. Period. Okay? Emotionally, a way to show up and create space for yourself is to allow yourself to process emotions without being reactionary. Hello? Can y'all hear me? Is this thing going? Is this thing on? Hello. Now, when you are processing your emotions, you are opening the door to an optimal life because you're not being a reactionary person. You don't react to everything. You wait, you gain more information, you gain knowledge about situations, and you observe, and then you come, you pull through with your resiliency. We figure out whether this is worth your time, whether it's worth your energy, and whether you actually need to, actually show up for a lot of parties that you're invited to. Because, honey, we always get invited to a lot of motherfucking parties, okay? We get invited to attitude parties. We get invited to victim role parties. We get invited to lack of accountability parties. I can go on. The list can go on and on and on. But being emotionally intelligent and actually processing your emotions and not being reactionary, it will keep you, from that point of life where you're just like all over the place and always reacting and always responding and always arguing and always in drama, and you're not showing up as yourself. Because when you show up, people are going to say, oh, this person is full of drama. And this podcast is not to talk about what other people think of you. I'm not saying it in that manner, but I'm saying if that's how you're always showing up, that's what you're going to be known for. Bullshit. Period. Now, another way that you can create space in your life is physically in your environment, in your home. I'm sure there's so many things you don't want, that you don't need, that you haven't even looked at in years or months. Why do you have it? What are you, like one of those people, like a pack rat? Like, what are you saving it for? We have what do they call, like these drives and stuff, like where we can take pictures of things and different things where we can keep things, like I meant, like, oh, I had this before, this was something my favorite, but I gave it away because I had no more use for it, but I remember it now. There's so many ways to keep a memory of something without keeping a physical thing. So keep that in mind when you're walking around your house and you just see a bunch of crap that you don't even touch, that's kind of dusty or that you even forgot about. Okay. Now, financially, a way to create space is identifying and prioritizing your financial habits and ways that you spend money. Okay. Um, a habit is something in repetition. Like if you're always paying certain bills or mortgages or insurance and different things like that, car notes, whatever, that's a part of your repetition, right? Something that you're always constantly doing. So you create a space for that, right? And then what you can do is for yourself is you create another space where you're saving, for a rainy day, but you're also saving for you to do something for yourself. Does that make sense? Whether you want to go to Aruba, whether you want to go somewhere, financially, you can show up that way by saving money. And even if you have enough time, you can earn a little bit of extra change, and add to your bank account even more so if you have enough extra time and energy to do that. Consider that as well. Now, spiritually, a way to create space is to stop allowing the things that other people do to drain your existence, to come in to drain you and take from you. You have to set limits on being a giver. You have to set limits on being a lover. You have to set limits on being someone who's empathetic to other people. You just do, baby. You just do. And when you don't, you're not creating that space for yourself. So it's not even a safe place for you to be spiritually if you're always allowing others to dictate how that's going to look. Does that make sense? I hope so. Is this thing on? Dun, dun, dun. Okay. Now, one of my favorite things to do is to actually keep the energy of the phone away from me. For example, like I don't put phones on my faces. I never answer the phone on my face. If it's a phone call I can't answer in public, then I won't answer to, like, I got some time to call back, because I feel like that if I answer this phone call, or I put this phone on my face, I just don't like the energy between the phone and on my face and different things like that. I even stopped putting the phone in my bra because I don't want it on my breast. I don't want it to hit those chakras. I don't want the energy from the phone. So a thing you can do is actually not use your phone for a certain amount of hours a day. At least 4 hours and 5 hours out the day, maybe even 6 or 7. I'm not using my phone. I'm not answering my phone. I'm not doing anything with the phone. It's just there. I'm probably charging somewhere and I forget that I have it. Like, oh my God, where's my phone? It's the everyday thing. Like, oh my God, oh my God. And everybody's going crazy and we can't find it. Yes, but that's just a definite way to put your digital devices aside, turn off your TV, get back to wholesome things like reading, going into nature, even going for a nice brisk walk now that we're in the season of fall, where guess what? Everything dead sheds away. Period. It's time to hibernate. It's time to what? Rejuvenate. It's time to restore. It's time to exercise. It's time to work on that new you, okay? Because the new year's in March, so you got to get to it. 2, 3, 4. Period. Now, you have to keep in mind that our digital devices, they can add value to our existence, but they also can steal joy from our lives. Not for nothing, I was reading a story yesterday. It got me extremely emotional. I was so upset. And, we were watching it on our TV on YouTube as a family. And my daughter got up and just started hugging me because I didn't expect the story to impact me that way. And then I just went right to Clubhouse and I wrote inside of one of the houses what happened to the girl. And the post is not up anymore. But I say this to say that it can also steal joy from your life, just seeing everything that's happening in the world. sometimes we got pulled away. So I had like a few rooms scheduled yesterday, but after that experience that I had on social media, I canceled all the rooms because I was not up to it, uh, physically, spiritually. So I created a space for myself to rest, and that's what I did. I slept, I rested. I did things I had to do for school and other things of that nature. Now I'm not focusing on me, but I'm giving you an example of how you can be easily impacted and things can easily steal your joy out of nowhere. I didn't set myself up for my joy to be stolen, but what happened was heartbreaking. You get what I'm saying? So with that being said, we have to monitor our usage on these devices, whether it's our phone, tablets, computers, um, even babies with toys, like some of these electronic toys, whatever happens to soft toys, wooden toys. These things matter, and they should have a presence in your life as well, because wholesome things matter and they help to make the brain grow even more because they problem solve. If you're always going to Google for answers, you're never going to be able to problem solve. You're never ever going to be able to think for yourself, because you're always going to a machine to do the work for you. Then you become dependent on it, if that makes any sense at all. If you're always going to these apps for social environments, then you're never going to be able to form a social relationship because you are not doing it manually. And there's nothing wrong with that, but after some point you have to get back to that wholesomeness of going outside and going into nature and being, interacting and fulfilling your life in that manner. Now, there is a lot of research on this about putting away your phone. It shows that too much screen time has a definite low vibrational impact. It makes your attention spans extremely low with relationships. Okay, so it literally impacts your mental health negatively. And for the most part, a lot of couples have a lot of issues with phones. Okay, like trust issues, insecurities are coming up because we spend too much time on our devices. So when you're not creating that space to get away from these things, they're only adding to your problems. And I tell you that I'm not going to go too far into my own business, but I tell you that as a mother, as a parent, if a child ever tells you, hello, I'm here, I'm not saying that happened to me. I'm just saying, like, that ever happens to you or anything of that nature, then keep in mind that it may be time for you to take a break, because nothing is more important than family. Okay. So there are plenty ways that we can manage digital uses, like turning off notifications, switching to airplane mode, and only showing up, if it's important. Like if it's extremely important, there's a phone call coming through. But my biggest tool for you all to use is do not disturb. Like I let my phone just die, like I said, for hours at a time a day, just be dead somewhere, and I can't never find it. That my children finally find it. For the most part, every single day this happens. I don't try to make it happen, but it's just like now at this point, it seems like it's the thing that happens every day. The big thing in the house, the big uproar is that I can't find my phone. Uh, because I'm not on it for a certain amount of time, because I give myself space to interact with my family, to nature, and other things that I want to do. And also another way that you can not use your phones and tablets, and you could try using your if you don't use your laptops a lot or your PCs, you can try to get on some of those apps with those things, because it takes more work to use an app with your PC. The time that you're going to use it is going to be lessened. Does that make sense? I hope so. Is this thing on? What's up? Peace, y'all. This is Empress Coach Rena Nicole. This is the AM Inspiration Show to wake that ass up. Today, the topic is how are you showing up in life? And we are going down the list of things to do so you can use your discernment and see how you are showing up in this existence, period. Now, with that being said, let's move on. So, dun, dun, dun. Now, I remember in this book, Decluttering the Mind, Reframing Automated Thought, they went into a quote on what former President Obama had said. He said that he keeps the same gray suits because he felt like he was too busy to worry about what to wear every single day. So this is why he kept the same navy suits or same gray looking suits, because that was just a decision that he was not willing to make, because he had to create space to do other things because he was way too busy for that. Period, right? So something that you can do to up the ante on creating space for yourself and time for yourself, so when you show up, is deciding what to wear. Okay, I remember being a child. I don't know if anyone else went through this. I remember being a child and having to get your clothes out for the week, not the day, the week. Maybe my mom was just crazy. Maybe We had to wash our clothes. We had to fold our clothes. We had to hang our clothes up. And she wanted to see outfits for the next day on the banister every night. Ironed, clean, socks, panties, whatever. You know, just hanging on the banister so she can know that we were prepared for the next morning because she didn't want to hear no bullshit in the morning about how we can't find nothing to wear. Oh my God. So every Sunday, we weren't going outside. We weren't doing none of that stuff. We were in the house ironing and getting our clothes ready for the week. Not for the day, for the week, all the way up into next what was it, like Saturday? So then we start all over on Sunday again. Right. So that's how we were prepared. We didn't have to worry about, oh, can you go to Kmart, whatever was out back then, Kmart, I don't know, JC Penney's, Sears. Can you go here and get me some clothes to wear, mom, in the middle of the week? No, because our clothes is washed and clean and set out. So even as adults, I do believe that when you are prepared, when you prepare your meals, when you're preparing your clothes to wear one day a week, when you set that time aside, you are creating space to show up as your most optimal self. You're not running late for work. You're not getting to places aggravated and frustrated because you had to find something to wear. Now your thoughts are out of whack. You're not on your train of thought. You're frustrated with people because they're talking to you and you know you're late, or you know you have to be somewhere, or you just know that you feel like you're not prepared. So these things will definitely propel you or traject you, especially in your career, to a higher place from you showing up on time because your clothes is already out. Your clothes has been out for days. They hanging up in the closet. They're on the hangers. Or if you want to do the banister thing like back in the day, you have children, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it, because I used to do that, and my daughter, every time I turn around on my clean clothes, she would be playing in my clothes. Okay, so that's just a warning to the wise. If you have children, younger ages that want to touch your stuff all the time, your best bet is to hang it up in your closet and actually lock your door when you're not in your room, because they find your closet too. They definitely find your closet, okay? Um, so if you're just single and you're ready to mingle, or you're just in a couple and you're ready to throuple, no, I'm just playing. If you're just in a couple too, just put your clothes in the bed, unless you have like a naughty cat in the house or a crazy dog. See, you gotta consider a lot of things when you just hanging your stuff out in the hallway, because it's like free game to the rest of the house. Um, I guess when you think about that, but just think of it in a way that, you know what, I'm preparing myself. Same thing with meal prepping. They have like these glass dishes on Amazon. You get like 42-piece set for like $38, and they like glass Tupperware with lids on them. And you can cook meals on Sunday as well while you're washing your clothes and drying your clothes. You can cook meals and propel and prepare yourself. Salads will last and salads will last for like 5 or 6 days. Meat and rice and stuff will last for like a week. You can prepare yourself up for like, a whole entire week. And you can put that stuff into your little lunchbox or whatever. And when you come home, you wash out the dish, put it away, and boom, you use the next one. So it's not something that you cannot do. It's probably something you just choosing not to do. If anything, it's something you're choosing not to do. Because the next thing we're going to talk about is the morning routine. That's the next thing we're going to talk about. Ways to help you show up in life. Is your morning routine. For the people that don't have morning routines, these are the most grumpiest people on the face of the world. They'll wake up like, oh, I gotta go to work. That's their only routine. They might not brush their teeth. They might not even wash their ass. So, I need a minute. Now, with that being said, when it comes to a morning routine, right? It can literally be like you waking up, you drinking your herbal tea or your coffee, and let me see. I hear some noise going on. I don't know if that's Clubhouse or what, but welcome. Okay, so Miss Marianne was in here. So yeah, so when you're thinking about your morning routine, you could go walking, writing, yoga, meditation, prayer, whatever you like to do, chanting, almond, burning frankincense, sage, whatever you like to do in the morning. Anything in repetition is a routine, right? So when you're thinking about this, what you're actually doing is creating a space, and you're allowing yourself to operate in that space to get where you need to be, to prepare yourself for your day. And that's why we always say awake at 4, because the earliest one get the worms, whatever I say. The earliest bird get the worms, okay? Don't really like birds like that, so I kind of flipped up on that one. But consistency is how you create an imperative thing that's intense. Okay. When it comes to morning routine, it's going to fuel your entire day and it's going to help you show up for your life. So you're going to be someone that's reliable. Think about it this way. If I'm always showing up for myself every single morning and I wake up and I'm doing these routines every single day, imagine how fulfilled you'll feel during the day. You won't feel all laggy because listen, you woke up at 4, so now you got extra. If you don't have to be ready at 7, you even got an extra half an hour on your alarm clock to just lay there and do nothing but pray, or just lay there and chant and or just look at the wall. You know, your alarm clock went off, you're woke, but you're just laying there, just still resting, but you're not up. Boom, you wake up, it's 4:30. Now you can get on to your day and drink your tea, drink your water, drink your coffee, however you like to start your day, with prayer, whatever. Get in a shower, refresh yourself, or do some get on the treadmill first, then get in the shower. However you want to do it, you still have time. So you're not rushing, you're not putting that heart rate up so fast, you're not risking high blood pressure, you're not doing all these things you're not supposed to do in the morning to make your day go AWRY. That's AWRY. Okay. Now, keep that in mind because it's the small things that add up. It's the small things that add up, and it definitely helps you. And it helps you with your family life, your personal, your interpersonal relationships as well. Okay. And the biggest thing of all is to do what? To do less. Point blank, period. Okay. Now, do less. Okay. My favorite saying is what? Do less and say, wait. Say less and do more. But listen, when it comes to what are we talking about today? How we showing up? We're going to do less now. Okay. Now, if you're talking about a situational thing, yes, do more, say less, period, all the time. A lot of the times we are overwhelmed and stressed by what? Other people's bullshit. It's always other people's shit. The stuff they want us to do, the stuff they want us to come to, the stuff they want us to support, the stuff they don't want us to support, the things we have to do, the things we don't want to do, the things we don't have no choice but to do. It's always something. So listen, the solution to that is what? Put it on your calendar. Start prioritizing things, right? So when you're prioritizing things, you are literally putting things in alignment, with your mind, on your heart, in your physical world, whether it's personal or interpersonal. You're definitely in alignment, okay, with the things that are important to you. I'm not saying the small things don't matter, but I'm saying they're not a priority. That's what I am saying. And I'm saying you don't have to tend to them every goddamn day because somebody tells you do. Period. For some reason, humans think that we're gonna do all these things in 12 hours. It doesn't work like that, honey bunny. And if it's working like that for you, listen, the idea is not to work harder. It's to work smarter. Okay? So you have to let go of that idea that you have to get it all done. And when you do it all, somehow it measures your value as a human. Okay? Your value is not measured on the inability for someone else to see it. Period. So if you're not getting these things done all day long, I don't give a rat's ass. Okay? Do you in a way that you are balanced, you are in harmony with the world, you are prioritizing, and you are not stressed the fuck out. Period. Listen. Just listen to me. Because a lot of times y'all don't listen to people. Y'all hear them, but you don't take it in. You don't receive the message. What I'm saying is, I don't care how much you think you have to do. Prioritize what you need to do, what you can do, and that's it. You can even prioritize what you want to do if you want to squeeze that in. But it shouldn't be no 50 things you had to do in one day. That's too much for one person. That's self-abuse. That's the same thing like telling yourself bad things about yourself. That's self-abuse. I don't care if you are, someone, unless you're someone who works in like a high-paced, industry, maybe like in finances or like, in fashion or things of that nature, like the hospital or the ER, something like that, then sure, you're right. At work, you might have a lot to do. But even at home, that little bit of time you have at home, you need to prioritize it, get things done in the way that you can get it done while you still can rest and still can thrive and still can live. Because a lot of people are alive, but they are not living. They're not living. It's like the apocalypse of zombies out in these streets. Okay? It's like everybody's tired. Everybody's stressed. Everybody has depression. Clinical depression. Everybody has PTSD. Everybody's just trauma beaten down to the ground because all these solutions are sitting here and they have no idea how to receive it. It's sad and it's unfortunate, okay? Huh. Now, if you are not a person that's overly busy, then you will be able to literally come up with a schedule, and you'll be able to prioritize things and squeeze in a little bit more of you time and a little bit of things that you want to do and a little bit more things that you want to do for others into your schedule. Okay? Someone that's overly busy or not is not just, they're just not going to be able to do it. And the fact that you're expecting this from them, it's this quote that I love so much. Those who expect nothing are seldom to disappointments. But guess what? People disappoint themselves because they expect that they can do all this bullshit, okay? Like, why you put so many expectations on yourself? Like, when you don't do it, you fall. You're so sad. You're so down. You're so hard on yourself. You're so self-effacing, you know, because you put too many things that were not obtainable. Okay, people talk about desirability all the time. They don't talk about things that are obtainable at all. We put all these things in our life that we strive to get done that are not obtainable for us. That it's just too hard to get done. It's not going to fit into the schedule. No matter what we do to work around, it's just not going to happen for us. Yet we still continue to prioritize shit that don't matter and allow it to beat us down to the ground. And we're missing out on our human experience as thriving and living. And now we become stagnant. We become robots, and we become like, like it's a song called Big Machine. We become like the big machine, like oil and tweaks. We get tweaks of self-care. That's the oil. We get tweaks of self-care. That's all we're able to have is tweaks. Because we are not creating these spaces so that when we're showing up in these ways where we're rested, we have priorities done, we're showing up full of life. We're showing up as our true selves. We're not showing up as, like we can follow people, but we're not following them. You know what I'm saying? We're not showing up as a carbon copy. We're not showing up as zombies. We're showing up in our most authentic form. We're using effective communication. We're being assertive. We are telling people what we want, how we want it, and why we want it, period. We are not hiding ourselves no longer because we're showing up as our true selves. That mask is off. We are naked. We are vulnerable. We are there. And of course, we're still using our discernment, period, okay? We're still following our intuition, period, okay? Because someone always got something to say, something undermining. Well, I know you can't be that vulnerable. No, of course you can't be vulnerable with everyone. But when you're living in your authentic truth, that's not something you worry about. You don't show up in fear, okay? You don't show up afraid of everything, okay? You just do the thing that needs to be done, and that's just that, period. That's just how it goes. I'm trying to tell you that with all the things we spoke on today, and how to show up as your most authentic and true self, all these things by simply creating spaces in these areas is going to affect your life overnight. Overnight. You might notice that, damn, I got a lot of rest. Or damn, I don't feel agitated and irritated today. Or you know what? My boss smiled at me. I'm doing a great job. I didn't show up late for work. They invited me to a company lunch. I'm getting a promotion. I'm not saying that's going to happen overnight, but you never know. Be the energy that you seek. Period. Always be the energy that you're seeking. So if you're seeking to do better, be that energy of doing better. Actually do better. It's not that hard. It's free. It's free 99 to do all these things that we talked about today. Free 99. You might have to pay an electric bill if you ironing your clothes and washing your clothes and stuff. But other than that, it's free 99. That's the only thing that might cost you money, the electric bill. And charging your phone, that might electric bill too. But other than that, yeah, it's free 99. All these skills and tools that we offer today for y'all, it's free 99. So at the end of the day, if you're cutting yourself short, you're not being in a place of receiving, you're not being in a place of healing or action instead of reaction, then you are going to set yourself up for failure. Point blank, period. And guess what? Failure is never the end, though. Failure is never the end. Failure is always the beginning of something new. So failure is always the beginning. Period. A lot of people don't realize that. They feel like, oh, failure is the end. No. Nothing is finite. Nothing is finite. It's not an absolute. Nothing is an absolute. Okay? This is not Infinity Wars. Ain't nobody snapping their fingers up in here. It's not finite. And excuse me. So yeah, so let me come back to Clubhouse to see if anybody's on here, see if they want to share anything. Because yesterday I allowed Spooncasters to share. Hey, Miss Terica, if you want to share anything, make sure you type it in the chat before I close out. Welcome, thank you for coming in. Or raise your hand to share. Up to you. Either way. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting. And because I let the other app share yesterday, so if you want to share today, just put it in the chat. I can read it off. And if not, then I'm going to go ahead and close out because today was Clubhouse Share Day, and I don't really see anybody in the chat or anything like that. Not right now, anyway. I already read off some of the chats. So, with that being said, I am your host, Empress Coach Rena Nicole. Today, the topic was how are you showing up? This was the AM Inspiration Show to wake that ass up, streaming live via StreamYard, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Clubhouse, Spoon, dropping audio app, and Twitter. Now, these will be uploaded to Spotify and Anchor. Check us out, Divine Intervention Show, on every network except for Clubhouse. Clubhouse, the club is called Sustainable Relationships. That's where you can find us at. Hit that green house if you're in the Clubhouse streets. If you're on Spoon, look me up by my name. You can find me there on the Spoon streets. With that being said, peace, y'all. And I will see y'all tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard. Stay safe.